Hey, Lance, I got another one coming out of the chat right now. Should the Jags franchise tag a left tackle Cam Robinson? Robinson's another interesting guy who's going to be hitting the market right now, and he's only 25 years old. He's another guy that Jacksonville may lose. He played really, really well out there, but he wants to get paid. Now, Jacksonville has money, and they also have probably, most likely, a rookie quarterback coming in to take over under center who's going to need some protection. So if Jacksonville loses him, they're going to be in a situation. But if Jacksonville franchises him, I don't know what the franchise tag is for left tackles, but I'm going to say it's kind of what I said earlier. It's somewhere in the $15 or $16 million range. Is that right, Lance? Can you look that up?
Checking it up right now. So franchise tag.
So, let's say you got $60 million in cap room, which is I think where Jacksonville's at, if memory serves me correct, and you're going to spend $15 million on one guy. That takes up about a fourth of what you have an allocated cap room. Now, I don't know. And I don't know what their depth looks like either. So it's Jack Sparrow. It's a great question. I don't know what their depth looks like, but behind Robinson, and that's really the issue right now. I'd have to go through the depth chart and take a look. If they have someone that could slide in that's actually on a cheaper price tag, I would say let Robinson go, spend the money to acquire other things. Jacksonville has so many problems. $60 million in cap space could go a long way to actually fixing those problems. But were you able to find out what the franchise tag is for tackles?
Okay, so franchise tag for an offensive lineman is $14.5 million for 2021.
I was close. Close. So you're looking at close to $15 million for 1 year. Now, the best part about a franchise tag is that if you franchise somebody, that you get the opportunity to keep them for 1 year. So you're not married to a long-term contract. Keep the guy on a prove-it deal. Let him stick around, play for a year, and then you could try to develop somebody behind him. So you can go back in the draft this year, pick up another tackle, let Robinson play out for a year. Again, if you don't have somebody to back him up, and then next year you can let him go. Hopefully he has a fantastic year. So when he does go, you get yourself a nice compensatory pick back. That's the great part about free agency. So spend all your money this year. So think about it from a plan like this. You have $60 million to spend this year. Let's spend up to the cap. Let's spend as much money as we can this year doing long-term deals, making sure that next year we don't have to fill in a lot of spaces in free agency. So you franchise tag Cam Robinson. When he leaves next year, if you don't replace him with someone of equal or greater value, you end up with a compensatory pick. And that compensatory pick for somebody like this could be an extra third-round pick, an extra fourth-round pick, something that could come really in handy for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they continue to try to build this team. You got an opinion on this, Lance? Keep him, dump him, pay the $14 million? What are you thinking?
Okay, so my thing is Jacksonville has a lot of money this season to spend. They have about $77 million. Definitely tons of money. Number one in cap space for this year. So, and the number two thing about Jaguars is that they have 11 draft picks this upcoming 2021 draft. So here's what I would do with Cam Robinson. I would give him the franchise tag. So I would give him that $14.5 million for 1 year. And then I would use one of my draft picks to draft another offensive lineman just to be able, just to light a fire under him that his tenure in Jacksonville is not for the long term. It's just a reminder for him that there's this guy that can push you in practice or can eat up your playing time if you don't do well with that $14.5 million. So they have the luxury of spending big, and they have the luxury of getting a lot of young players through the draft that, of course, they can sign through cheaper rookie contracts. So at least it gives them two options that if indeed Cam Robinson doesn't play up to standard for that franchise tag, then they can let him go next season, and they have a young offensive lineman who could hopefully fill up his position.
Yeah, I like the idea. I mean, look, there's a lot of when you have $77 million to spend, 11 draft picks, number one overall pick, you got a lot of flexibility to rebuild your team pretty quickly. Like, it won't take long to go in there and really rebuild.